excited to be here with y'all tonight. Hi, Miss Arnetta. I am just looking down in the chat, and I want to make sure that I can see myself before I get started. But I am so excited to be here with y'all, and I hope that you are ready for a really fun Enamel Effects video. I'm so excited about these cards. I have been working with these for a little while now, and when these cards came together, I was doing a happy dance because I couldn't wait to share them with you. So here, let me check and make sure. Okay, I can see myself, so more happy dance. All right, so who is excited about an Enamel Effects video series? Yes, I am. Well, if you are, please give me a thumbs up. I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, and I would love for you to jump in the chat and tell me where you're from, where you're visiting us from, and if you've ever joined us before. If you are one of my current customers, welcome. One of my team members, we're so happy to have you here. Of course, we're happy to have everybody. This is the first time visiting our channel, welcome. And new customers and new demonstrators, so welcome everybody. It's Friday night fun night. And my goal tonight is to inspire you to get your craft on this weekend and to have a lot of fun crafting and use these enamel effects. And like I said, I've got 3 more videos coming with other ways to use them. So, hi Miss Robin Purdom. I got to see you last weekend and that was awesome. I sure hope you're feeling better. We've been thinking about you. Hi Tracy, sending big hugs to you. And Miss Penny and Wanda, welcome. I saw Corey was in here from California. And Miss Jennifer, hi Jennifer. Hello from Baroda. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's where I grew up. That's my neck of the woods right there. I love me some Baroda now. Hi Monica. And Miss Debbie Pott, I got to give you a big hug last weekend at the demonstrator event, and I just adore you. And I hope that you're doing well. Miss Debbie had a little bit of an injury and she's getting back into her crafting. So really excited about that for her. Hi, Heather. Okay, so it looks like everybody can see me okay. Can I just tell you that I am so excited. I know I mentioned it already, but this just brings me great joy to be here with you. And of course, to see all of you joining me is incredible. So much fun, and it's fun to see where everybody is from, right? I mean, we can all come together in a common space, and we just love to craft. And people from Australia, Alaska, Jenny is in here from Alaska, and Patricia, so pretty unbelievable. And of course, Miss Patty, I see Miss Patty, which is Amanda's mama. And Grandma Gertie is probably in here as well too, but she can't do the chat. But we're super excited to have everyone with us. So before we get started, let's talk about some enamel effects now, okay? So I'm gonna grab my little packages. Now this one's missing one, but this is how they come. They come in a pack of 3. So you can purchase them as the metallics, or you can get them in the basics. And the basics are gonna be red, black, and white, like a pearlized white. And the metallics are gonna be your silver, gold, and copper. And oh my gosh, I've had so much fun playing with these. And so I think without further ado, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna show you the card that we're gonna create with today, and kind of walk you through some different things that you can do. And then I hope that you'll be excited to join me for my next video that's yet to come. So, all right. Hello, Sherry and Bonnie. I see you're in here as well. Hi, Carol. Yeah, and Miss Debbie. Okay, so here, let me show you the card. Are y'all excited? Oh, I am. Okay, so here you go. Let's have a look. So here is the card that we are going to make together. Actually, I have 3 of them. So just so much fun. Okay, so what I want to share with you is these these enamel effects. They allow you to make raised dots, in a sense like a gem, okay? And they like last forever. or you can accent an image, right? So you can see here that I accented my image here, as well as my butterfly. You can also do like fun lines and different, you can play with different designs, if you will. And then of course, the metallics and stuff add a little bit of the sparkle and the dimension. So really, really cool to kind of get that fun texture on with these enamel effects. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock. Now I have seen folks take one of their silicone sheet, right? Their little silicone sheet, and you can make a bunch of gems on here. You can do it in different sizes. So literally you just kind of shake that guy up, take your lid off, and then you can just kind of give it a little squeeze. And of course you can make big pearls, small pearls, whatever you would like. Now you can do it that way. And then once it dries, then you would just take your, your spatula and take your pick tool and pop it right off. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't do that. I don't even use the silicone craft sheet. I just go right to the cardstock and just let it dry on your cardstock. It seems to work great for me. I have been working with this now, for quite some time. However, there's always different ways to do things. So if you prefer to do it that way, that's perfectly fine. But I like to do it straight to my cardstock because then it dries, it's stuck, it's good to go. So I'm going to just set that aside. And let's have a look here. So what is some of the things that we can do? So let's go ahead and take the pearlized. Let's take the white pearlized. And I have a piece of Melon Mambo here. So we talked about gems, right? So we can make little pearls and little gems, and you can make them as big as you want. You can get bigger and so forth. You can do lines, so you can make your lines and that sort of thing. Or what if you wanted to send somebody a card and you wanted to just say hi? So you could just squeeze your little bottle and make yourself a hi, just like that, right? And if you don't want it, I'm not squeezing very hard, I guess, so that's why that's kind of a little choppy there. But you can do a hi that way. You can even, I just gotta tap my bottle a little bit and bring it down, but you could even write in cursive. Yeah, look at that. You could even write somebody's name or I love you for Valentine's Day. So you could do that. You can do zigzags, you can do hearts, all kinds of stuff. This stuff is so much fun. So again, it does take time to dry, right? So it is a lacquer and you want to make sure that you give it some time to dry. So that is one of the big things with the enamel effects. Hi, Susan. Your nails look great. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I'm a little hard on them, but I have not bitten them, so I'm really excited. But I've got one that's already chipped. I'm trying to learn how not to, to be gentle. But it's so good to see everybody in here. Hi, Miss Kathy Brennan. We're sending love and prayers your way and hope that you're feeling better today. Hi, Debbie. Okay, so now you can kind of see we've got pearls and stripes and, little, things like that. So different things that you can do with that. It does take some time to dry. So, a lot of times what I'll do is I will just do this part and then I will let it dry. And then after I let it dry, I will work on all of the other pieces. So that's what I like to do, and work on all of the other things. And then when I go back, generally it's dry. If it's not dry, then you can use a heat tool to dry it. Okay. So, but I was just using a heat tool, and you don't want to use it on the number 2 setting because it will cook it. True story, it cooks it. You will learn that quickly. And you also want to be careful that you don't kind of touch it. You really got to let it sit and dry, because if you touch it, it's tacky. It'll actually flatten your pearl, and it's like, oh. So you just let it dry and, work on some other things. Okay, So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started with our card. We are going to use Spotlight on Nature, one of my favorites. This one is absolutely gorgeous, and I know you all love it just as much as I do. And so I went ahead, I already stamped in Memento. Wow, that is a dirty Memento pad. Okay, so I already stamped a few of my images just to kind of save time so we could get into all the fun stuff. So just Memento Black, we're going to color these with Stampin' Blends, so that's why I did that ahead of time. So I'm going to just set that back aside here. I do have kind of all of my things just kind of set out here so that I could be efficient when I was sharing with you. So I'm going to move in my Stampin' Blends. Okay, so what colors do I have here? I don't want you to get tripped up on colors because you can use whatever colors you like, right? But I have Poppy Parade, Daffodil Delight, and I also think I have Lemon Lolly here. I believe my card was colored in Lemon Lime Twist, but I also brought in some Granny Apple Green because I like to go rogue and I generally don't always do things the same each time. So I'm going to start with my light Stampin' Blend, okay, for my Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to go ahead and color this one here for you. So I like to color with the lightest Granny Apple Green first. And I am kind of purposely going on the outside of my stem. You certainly don't have to. But if you know, it's up to you. I do kind of want to show that that's a green stem. And then I'm just going to add a bit of color to my flower, or actually not flower, my leaves. Yep. So I like to start with the light one. For the dark one, you know, it's entirely up to you. And keep in mind, there are lots of ways to do things. So most importantly is you're giving them a go and you're trying them. There's no real true right or wrong on how to do that, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I've got my dark Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to kind of, it's too hard to really blend this because it's so small. So don't get caught up in that. You know, that's another reason why I started with my light color, and now I'm just sort of putting some wispy lines in here to kind of, you know, add a little bit of depth, if you will, to that leaf. All right, so you guys can kind of see that, just adding a little bit of depth. So I think that looks really nice. Now, up next is going to be Light Poppy Parade. All right, so, and you know, I want to move my computer just a little bit closer so that I can look down there and say, hi, Maria. Thank you for joining me tonight, Amanda and I. So Amanda is in the chat, so we're so excited to have her here with us tonight. She is in there chatting away with you all. So, you know, if you have any questions, make sure you say hi to her. She will try to answer those questions for you. Or she'll say, hey, I've got a question, and she'll ask me. So make sure you say hi to her. And then my husband is behind the camera, and he is over there helping too. He's waving at y'all. And can I tell you, I have, my oldest is leaving for college on Tuesday or Wednesday. And it's move-in, he'll be a freshman, and oh my goodness gracious. So say a prayer for me that I can, that I can actually drive away. But I'm super excited for him to spread his wings and fly. Okay, so let's go back. We've got a Poppy Parade light Stampin' Blend. Okay, so I better check to make sure because I get talking and then it's like, okay, Brandy. So I like some white space in here. I actually did it a couple of different ways. And what I realized is I really like a little bit of the white space. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just kind of leave that in there. You know, and I'll show you the card that I made and then the card that I prepared right before we went live. And you can see the difference. And then you can kind of figure out what you like best. And honestly, when you leave a little bit of white in there, it's pretty, like, it's really neat looking, but it's also takes a little of the pressure off to have it perfect, right? So this one is also a light Poppy Parade. It appears we have double Poppy Parades in there, but this is the dark one. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of the lines with the dark Poppy Parade. But I'm going to show you how to add some other color with our Enamel Effects. But before we do that, let's just go ahead and darken that up just a little bit. All I'm really doing is kind of following the lines that are already in the flower. So I'm not, I'm not really trying to blend here, okay? So I think that looks beautiful. I like that a lot. So let's bring in our butterfly. So we have our butterfly here. I'm just going to take Lemon Lolly. And I encourage you to really play with these colors. Play with this stuff and see what you like and see what, what fits your fancy. Yeah, because I guarantee you, you're going to find a color combination and go, oh, wow, that is so cool. And if you do, I would love for you to email me and let me know. Yep. All right, so this one is a dark Daffodil Delight. So Lemon Lolly was the light. This is a dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm just adding a little bit of the dark in those lines. So that's what I love about these Stampin' Blends is, yes, they blend and color beautifully, but there's other ways to use them. And I'm just, literally just following the lines that are already in the image. Okay. So now what we're going to do is there is a real red Enamel Effects. And we have a Poppy Parade flower. But this real red is going to be a little bit darker, right? So why not accent it? So that's what we're going to use for that. Then I started to think, okay, so I have a yellow butterfly. What Enamel Effects can I use on my yellow butterfly? Yes, we can use gold. And so I started to put the gold on there and it was like, oh, I just loved it. So here, let me show you. So let's start with, we've got our gold and here we go. There's our gold metallic enamel effect. And so you've got just kind of a pointed tip here. And it would be good probably to have a piece of scrap paper. So I may just push one over here to the side and I'll bring it in just for a second, just so you can kind of get the pressure that you're going to need. Because when you go to do this, you don't want a lot of pressure, right? And if you have a full bottle, it's going to squirt out a lot faster than my used bottle here. All right. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm just adding a bit of gold Enamel Effects as a highlight inside my butterfly. And oh, you will just be amazed at how pretty it is. So pretty. And it's funny because it's like, okay, well, that's a Lemon Lolly butterfly, but yet we're adding the gold highlights, which just is the coolest thing. And I don't know, can you guys see that? Woo-wee! Oh, it's so fun. Hello from Mississippi. Well, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Hi, Rebecca. Okay, so this is Poppy Parade. This is Real Red. And we're not scared to mix colors, right? So again, I'm going to try my Enamel Effects over on the side here. Just make sure that I've got the right pressure. That sometimes there's air bubbles in there too. And when I squeezed it, I saw an air bubble and it went pop, so we want to make sure. I don't want that to do that on my project. That might make me cranky. So here, let's go ahead and add some of our Real Red to our flower. And the cool thing is it's actually adding like a texture, like a raised texture inside your flower petals. Yeah, so not only do you have kind of the light and the dark from your Stampin' Blend, but now you have a bit of texture in there as well. And, that's why I kind of wanted to go lighter too with my Stampin' Blends at first, because I knew that my Real Red would really kind of add something really fun to that. Yeah. Now remember, you might have to practice just a little bit because you've kind of got to get the right, the right pressure on there so you don't end up with a big glob or too much. Yep. Now what you could do, you could take a little brush if you wanted to, and you could brush this on. And then you're going to have to make sure that you clean your brush, right? So that your brush is nice and clean so it doesn't ruin it. But you can absolutely do that. Okay, so I've just added some color to my Enamel Effects. So, how are we doing so far? Hi, Miss Polly Libby. Oh my goodness, it's so good to have you here. She's like, she's got to get her Enamel Effects out again. Yes, you do, and you have to visit me again for my next couple of videos. I've had so much fun with this product, and it's killing me. I want to show you guys some of the other cards, but I'm not going to do that yet. So you'll have to come back. Hi, Jeannie. Okay. Hi, Miss Patricia.
Brandy, we had a couple people asking just to clarify about the drying time, and can you use a heat tool?
Yes, you can use a heat tool, but you're going to want to use it on a one setting and just not get too close and kind of go over it. If it's tacky, it's not dry yet. All right. And it does take a little while. Sometimes I will leave it out if it's humid. It can take a lot longer to dry if you're kind of in a humid area. So like I said, I would do these types of things and then set it aside and then work on other stuff. You know what I mean? So I would apply my crystal effects, set it aside, and then work on some other things and then go back. I mean, it can take up to an hour if you have it thick on there, but it's so worth it. It is so worth it. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm scratching my head because I'm like, okay, where's all my pieces? But I have them. So I went ahead, and because it does take a bit for that to dry, I'm going to set it aside above my camera here because I will definitely use those later. And I've already done a couple others for you, and they are dry. So I have already dried these right here, and I'm just kind of setting that aside so that we can add that to our card. So as I thought about the crystal effects, I thought, you know, I want to like really dive deep into the crystal effects with the pearls and the stripes and accenting your images and adding color and dimension. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our background with the same products. And so we're going to go in with black on black. Yeah, so we're going to use the Enamel Effects, black on black, and then we're going to use the pearlized on white. So you guys ready for all that? Let's do it. I'm not scared. Let's do this. All right, so we have our card base, and let me grab my basic white piece that's going to go on top. And where did that go? Let's see. Might have to cut another one if I moved my size. No, there it is. I just found it. So this piece right here is actually going to layer on top, but I'm not ready for that piece yet. So I'm going to set that aside. But what I am wanting to do is I am going to bring in some basic black. And here, check this out. So this is basic black with the black enamel effects on top. Super cool, and they're raised, and it's really fun. I mean, it's really a fun texture. So what I decided to do is the goal is to create this piece right here. So I'm going to share a tip with you. And let me just show you on this piece. So when you first start and you squeeze, you're kind of like getting the pressure right when you're drawing your lines. And so you kind of get like this bulky edge here, which if I were going for that, that would be okay. So what I would recommend is cutting, having this piece bigger. So that way, when you create that, you can cut it down. So let me show you what I mean. So we're going to take our black enamel effects, and we are going to draw our lines. All right. So again, as I'm getting my footing here, this is actually the size that I need. So I want it to be bigger. And so you can kind of see I'm going to start over here where it's going to be bulkier and then just move all the way across. Okay. And on camera, it's like, okay, don't breathe, don't talk, don't sneeze, don't giggle.
You focus because they are loving it.
Oh my gosh, that makes my heart so happy.
Several people are like, oh my gosh, I can do more than just dots with these. I had no idea.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Yes, your dotting days are awesome, but they are like, Woo! Wait till you see what we've got to come.
We're going to take the next level.
Yeah, we are. It's so cool. It's so much fun. So fun. Like, I'm loving this stuff. But it does take a little bit to dry. But we just got to keep our patience panties on. That's really hard for me, you know. But I do it, man, because it's worth it. Super, super awesome. Now, if you're thinking there's no way that I can freehand this and they would never be straight, let me just tell you, Stampin' Up! Just came out with an embossing folder called Plaid something. I don't remember what it's called. It's called Plaid something. It's in the holiday.
Effects? Plaid? I feel like it starts with a
Plaid, yeah. So it's really cool, but none of the lines are straight. They are totally not straight. I just embossed a bunch of them for samples, and it's not straight. And so I'm like, well, then why do I gotta be straight, right? So anyway, pretty darn cool. So it's really, really neat. So here, this piece has got to sit and dry, doesn't it? So let me show you how cool this looks. So here it is, same piece. I went ahead and did this earlier. Look at that shine. And if you can like feel it. It almost feels like strings that are stuck to the cardstock. And so because I cut it bigger, now I can cut off like this like ugly edge that I don't like. Okay, so let's do that. So let's set that up there. And I'm gonna bring up my trimmer and I'm gonna cut that down. And so let's see, this is, it looks like I need 3 and 7/8. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that right off here at the edge. So it cuts off perfectly. Sure does. It cuts off nice. And then I'm just going to cut that. And then it said 3 and 7/8. I know it's super hard to see my numbers on here. Really, this kind of exercise is really to show you how not to, if you didn't like that kind of clumpy edge, right? So that's really what that's about, not so much using the trimmer itself. So then I'm gonna, and all of the sizes and the dimensions are on my BrandysCards tutorials for you. Miss Amanda helped me edit them, which I'm so grateful for. And we have 3 PDF tutorial downloads for you. They are free. They're on BrandysCards.com. I love to provide you with these downloads because my hope is that you're going to download them, print them, put them in your idea and inspiration book. And maybe use the layouts if you don't have the same stamp set. Because you don't have to use Enamel Effects, man. You can use anything you want, right? So that's my hope with those. So make sure you go to BrandysCards and click on blog and you'll be able to find those there. Okay, let's grab our glue. I am a green glue gal. So I've got my green glue here and I did not check to see if my glue was happy today. But happy glue. Oh, look how cool that is. That's the piece we just cut. So let's add this. All right, so we're going to add this piece right here flush to the bottom of our basic white cardstock. I'm going to flip this piece over and I'm going to go ahead and add it to my card. So I'm going to flip this piece over. I'm adding my Stampin' Dimensionals and let's see, we're going to add those on here. And it is a big piece, so I'm probably going to go a little heavy with my dimensionals and add a couple more. If my voice is a little raspy, the allergies have like, I tell you, they like come and go on me here. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to add this to the front of my card. I'm just going to center it right here, right there. So I'm going to center it just like that. Now what I'm going to do is this is the piece that we did earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and just add my dimensionals right behind this piece as well because I want to pop that up too. You know, the flower is stamped directly on the cardstock. We colored it with our Stampin' Blends and then we added the crystal, or I keep calling it Crystal Effects. It's Enamel Effects detail. So how pretty is that? Wowzers, that's pretty. Okay. And then, of course, we have our butterfly. He's going to go right about in here. And so what do you think we should do now? We still have that white pearlized one that I'm excited to use. So let's add our butterfly kind of right in here. So let's grab the white. Let's see, where's my white? So it's the white pearlized. And now check this out. So we'll zoom in so you can see. And you can do as many little pearl dots as you would like. But what I would say is just kind of move around your card. And now you're kind of creating this really cool raised pearlized background. Yeah, so much fun. And you know, it almost is like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of textured DSP sort of, right? Kind of where you've got like raised little texture bits. So really fun. And so just kind of move your way around. Now, of course, you can make these little pearls as big as you want or as small as you want. So have fun with it and make them, you know, make it work for you. So I'm just kind of adding them just like that. Look at that. Oh, so fun. Now, again, you don't want to touch it. You got to let it dry. So you can see how cool is that. Now, this was dry because this was the one I showed you before, but you can see my little wet pearls that are straight onto the cardstock. Now, what I did is on this card, I used my black Enamel Effects and did my little butterfly body. So you can do that. And then I stamped my sentiment and I used my snips and just kind of cut it out decoratively. Of course, you could add, you know, you could do a banner or anything else that you'd like. All right. So I'm just going to, hi, Loretta. Love this card and new ways to use my products. Oh, I just love to hear that. I always hope to inspire you to use your goodies and your the wonderful things that you have in your craft room. So to hear that makes my heart super happy. Okay, so we don't want any naked envelopes. So let's go ahead and let's quickly do an envelope. Sometimes I just love my envelopes. I just love them. And so I know most of you have seen us decorate envelopes, envelope flaps, but I'm going to show you in case somebody has not seen that yet, okay? So this is our envelope flap. I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive and just work my way around, trying to stay close to the edge so that it adheres nicely, mails nice, and doesn't pull up and that sort of thing. And this is, I believe, designer paper from the Assortments collection. I'm not sure that they call it that anymore. I think it's now just called Regal's DSP. But I love it. I love the type patterns. So I'm just using my snips and following along my envelope flap and just trimming that, okay? So I've got several different colors here for you. Let me make sure I grab the card that's not wet. Oh my goodness. So this one I did to kind of coordinate with the lighter color leaves. But then I've got this one, which is I think more of an old olive, which I kind of really liked. It was a little bit darker. And then I thought, oh yeah, I just want to keep on going. And I believe that one was Poppy Parade. So I'm not sure which envelope you would like best with it, but I felt like that one probably would be my favorite. It accented really nice and it didn't take away from that beautiful flower, right? So, okay. So what does everybody think? Do you guys like it? I hope that you do. And if you haven't already given me a thumbs up, please do. I would be grateful if you did that. And of course, leave me a comment, in the chat box. And of course, if you aren't able to chat, you can also leave me a comment in the video. I also have a goodie to give away for you as well. So make sure that after the video is over, that you go into the chat box and let me know which card tonight was your favorite. And let me know that you were visiting me. I've got I have a July paper pumpkin for you. That's right, July paper pumpkin, and I am so excited about this kit. It is absolutely amazing. So good.
The camera's freezing up a little bit.
Oh, the camera's freezing up a little bit?
One is.
Okay.
Yeah, but
that's okay. All right. So sorry if my connection is a little bit hairy, the technology nowadays. But so if anybody has not seen, which I don't know how you couldn't have seen the July paper pumpkin. It was phenomenal. But I have one here, and if you leave me a comment, what I'll do, I will go into the comments and I will do a random, I'll read your comments and I'll do a random pick, and then I will let you know on our next video. And I would love to give away this amazing, amazing kit. Absolutely gorgeous. So are you guys able to see me okay? I'm not sure if my internet connection is kind of...
It's freezing up a little bit. So
yeah.
They can definitely hear you.
They can hear me.
They definitely can hear you.
Well, that's cool. I'm so glad.
They like the old olive envelope.
They like the old olive envelope, so that's the one that I liked too. So I thought that was great. So yeah, so when the video's over, please be sure to leave a comment. I've also got some enamel effects that I would like to give away in the comments as well. So, all right. So should we move on to, oh, I almost touched that. So that's the key with the enamel effects. You have to move the card away so you don't accidentally grab it. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. The next one I have is Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea is one of my favorite stamp sets. It is so adorably cute. Now, I'm not going to make all of the cards for you, but I am going to show you how to do the enamel effects and like really kind of bring a pop and a wow to the card. So here, this is what we're going to do. I showed you earlier that how cool the red looked on this Melon Mambo. So let's go ahead and use it. Okay, so before we made straight lines, didn't we? So let's go ahead and squeeze our Melon Mambo or our real red, and you can make these lines as thick as you would like, as thin as you would like. It really all has to do with how hard you are squeezing your enamel effects. Now, if it gets clogged, you can kind of warm up the tip, use like a pin, kind of push it in there. I have not had any problem with mine, but you never know. Don't leave the lid off and test the theory, okay? Make sure you put your lid right back on so that you don't have any problem. And just make sure it's nice and tight on there. So I'm just working my way down. And hopefully you can see these lines in the camera. So I'm using real red on Melon Mambo, and I'm just adding some fun lines. And then I thought, well, gosh, you know, why not take it and kind of make, you know, a plaid, if you will. So then you're going to turn your paper. Now, you can let this dry first if you're like, oh, geez, I don't know if I can do it without sticking my hand in it. Well, that's a good, you know, that definitely can happen. So whether you go the long ways first or the short way, it's entirely up to you. And, you know, just have some fun with it. Or take a piece of basic white and use some different colors. Yeah, so you can use some of the different colors, you know, you can use the metallics. And I could also see this with Valentine's Day. I think this would be super, super cool with Valentine's Day. So I'm just kind of moving through here and making this fun pattern. Yep, and I'm not worrying about if I'm straight or not, okay? And that's because it doesn't have to be straight. So I am going to show you this, see? Oh, look at that. How cool is that? So much fun. So here, you can also take, and here's like a, you know, this is just kind of a scrap piece. I did the exact same thing. And so let me show you the card. Are you ready? All right, so let me just be very careful. We've got to let that dry. Yes, you can use a heat tool. I don't, you know, I haven't really been using the heat tool. I've just been setting these pieces aside and then letting them dry. But let me show you the card. So here is my Sweet Pea card, and you can see my enamel effects. How fun is that? And it totally feels textury, which like I just think is the coolest. So fun. So fun. Stephanie says, lovely. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm glad you like it. Hi, Lori. So glad you made it tonight. So super fun. And then
Douglas said you're pretty brave to pick it up when it's wet.
Oh, Debbie Douglas is in here. Hello, Miss Debbie. That's awesome. Yes, no doubt. And so here is this piece that I mentioned earlier that I did earlier. And I just kind of stuck that in there. I colored my little sweet pea, my little happy birthday pea, and just kind of added one in the inside just to kind of decorate it a little bit more. But how fun is that background? So cool. So cool. And then, of course, I decided to go with yellow for my envelope because I thought that that was like a really nice touch. And it popped it beautifully, doesn't it? So that is my sweet pea. So now we've done stripes, we've done kind of a checkered, we've done pearls, we've accented our images. Ooh, we're just getting like, we are diving in. Okay, so the next one we're going to use is sketched butterflies. Who likes sketched butterflies? When it's mailed, you need a bubble envelope. Looks like, is that what Miss Patricia asked? No, actually you don't. This is not gonna affect, you know. Actually, it's probably better than a big pearl or a big gem. So not at all. You can absolutely mail that very, very easily for sure. And you could actually do this on your envelope flap. I did not, but I don't know why you couldn't. Okay. Thank you for the thumbs up, Bonnie Blake. I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. So sketched butterflies is the next one I'm going to show you. And with this one, I kept it simple again. And I used my Stampin' Blends. And okay, so we used my Stampin' Blends. And so I used my Shy Shamrock, I used Summer Splash, and my yellows. And here is what I got. Now, it wasn't about blending again, but it was more so about how I could add my enamel effects on the butterfly. So let me show you the card. Are you guys ready for this card? Let's look at this one. So here, oh, I can see in the camera. Now, this is Shy Shamrock. The inside is Summer Splash. And then I did my yellow. And then I added gold, and I used the white pearlized for the butterfly. This here, these edge pearls, oh yeah, that is silver. So I just made myself a fun silver frame. And then on the inside, I added my butterflies. How fun. What do you guys think? So much fun. So cool. And it just really, oh, and I did color my butterfly's body in black. So that is something else that you can do as well. So I'm going to bring in all of my cards, and hopefully I'm not grabbing ones that are already wet. Okay. So it looks like my connection is a little bit not working with me today. So I don't want to leave you and have to cut off. So I'm going to go ahead and bring all of these back in for you to see. And I'd love to know which one's your favorite. Of course, please leave me a comment in the comments. Let me know you're here, which cards you like, if you're going to use your enamel effects. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. I would love to send somebody this beautiful July paper pumpkin. And of course, I've got the enamel effects to send as well. So I think that is it for me today. I know generally we come back to a front view, but the camera is fussing with us. So I would just say bye. I would come underneath there and say, but I don't think I could get my head under the camera. It would be entertaining, that's for sure. And it may just be a picture of my nose. But at any rate,
yeah, we don't want to scare anybody.
No, we don't want to scare anybody. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I sure enjoyed sharing with you. And, you know, can we try my computer and see if...
It's disconnected, but I can try to connect it.
Yeah, let's see if the computer connects. And we'll just see if it connects. And if it doesn't, well, that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Go for it.
So on BrandysCards, before we let you go, on BrandysCards, if you go to my blog, and so that's the screen I'm on right here, that's kind of coming up. And if you click and the Enamel Effects, you're going to see the video is there. you're going to see some really big close-up pictures that I think will be helpful to kind of see the colors that I've added. Check out that butterfly. Oh, I just love it so much. And so I've kind of shown you some of the different patterns and things. And then if you scroll down to the very bottom, looks like my internet connection is kind of slow, but if you scroll down to the bottom, there coming up will be all of your PDF tutorials. So you can click on that and download that. Now, I am going to tell you guys that today I also went through a bunch of retired stuff. So make sure that you visit my retired store. If not today, within the next week or so, I hope to upload a bunch more products on there. I've got 2 boxes of retired stuff that I am ready to send to a new home because I hate that they're not being used. So make sure that you check that out. And of course, if you're looking for something, let me know. If I have it, I'd be happy to send it your way. All right, so I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you've had fun and that you're gonna go get some crafting in. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. If you don't already have a demonstrator, let me know. I'd love the opportunity to help you and earn your business. You can go to BrandysCards.com and send me an email. For all of you that are customers and friends, demonstrators, team members, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for y'all. Y'all just bring me such joy. I'm grateful to be here. So stay in touch and watch for the next video. Bye, everybody.